to be extra convincing. That's crazy to me. It's wild to me. Speaking on a note of who his friends are, I will tell you,
you're not
there's
his
no
friend.
one, like I said at the top of the show, that could have upset me more than Don Jr. Okay, Don Jr. was one of Charlie's friends, like brother, literally a brother. Don Jr., by the way, I would say was one of the people who very much helped to build Turning Point USA. He was there. Okay, he did a ton of college campus events with me and Charlie, and we were always so grateful. I remember when Don Jr. started following me, I have the text messages with Charlie. I was like, oh my, Don Jr. is following me. This is amazing. He would retweet me.
Yeah,
the beginning of the Candace story includes Don Trump Jr. being probably, without question actually, the most committed Trump family member to Turning Point USA.
She's mad because she wasn't invited. Okay?
And like I said, I know how Charlie felt about Don Trump Jr. So when Megyn Kelly asked him what he thought about the investigation into Charlie's assassination, I was expecting him to say, I think it's crap. But that is not what he said. In fact,
no one feels that way with you.
Question, as you'll see, and then Megyn Kelly holds him to it, and then you'll hear what he says. Take a listen.
How do you feel about the investigation into Charlie's death? Can we have faith in it? Do you feel like it's being well handled?
So far, listen, so far so good. I think, I've had this conversation with a lot of the guys that have been, very involved from the beginning, and, others that are a big part of that movement that are, are going to take, more of a role. Guys like JD, like, hey, he believes we have to keep this going. People, myself, hey, I did a lot of them, but I got to do even more. We got to keep this going. There's never going to be a replacement for Charlie Kirk. You can't plug that in. But if we can find 10 people that can do 10% of what he did, and they go all in,
how does she have Erica Kirk on her show?
We can keep that alive. And honestly, we all owe that to him.
Just to round back, do you have confidence in the investigation? Should we have confidence in this FBI investigation?
Exactly.
I do. And I don't like it when the people have the private, but I've spoken.
They need to keep her out. Look how she's acting.
Around and
Tanya said, "Who gives a damn?"
I do have confidence. And, when I start seeing some of the other stuff, it's like, man. And by the way, just so we're clear, as you all probably know, if you're here, you probably follow me a little bit. Like, I'm about as conspiratorial as it gets within the realm of sanity, for good cause, right? I think I was the guy that first said, like, the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is usually about 6 months. I was the guy canceled for pushing all of the obvious things that were conspiracy
theories. But no one
is
willing to go off the ledge with Candace.
Lab virus leak. The problem is that there is a cottage industry of just clicks. And people that are more than happy to profiteer, off of that. Again, I'm not saying that a lot of this stuff isn't real and isn't true, and I've been pushing all of that, but some of the stuff does get a little bit off the rails, and I think, you're really, it's been used even by the other side as a way to distract from the bigger picture of what happened to him, of what the other side has proven that they are actually willing to do.
When her name is mentioned. Says it all.
Man, oh man. So much I want to say to that clip. Okay, the first thing that I want to say is that Don Trump Jr. is not a bad guy. Not a bad guy. Don Trump Jr. is probably maybe akin in some ways to Mikey McCoy. I look at Mikey McCoy. I don't know Mikey McCoy at all. And I don't think he's an evil person. I think he is in the shadow of his father, right? I think he's in the shadow of his father. I think Don Jr. has been probably in the shadow of his father his entire life, because what he's saying when he begins to credentialize himself and said, oh, I was up at the Wuhan, I said this about COVID, blah, blah. That's all true. That's the real Don Trump Jr. He was actually one of the people.
He's just not willing to go all the way there with her dumb conspiracy theories.
Dad said, are we still talking about Jeffrey Epstein, right? And that's what I mean when I say someone who is in the shadow of his father. And it's a tough
That's a good question.
Situation
Why don't you investigate Epstein?
I want to be charitable in terms of thinking of that particular dynamic when Dad is saying this needs to be done, and you have to carry on knowing that you had a real relationship with Charlie, because you did have a relationship with Charlie. But Don, from me to you, it's better to say nothing. Okay,
you can't tell him what to say.
I'm just not going to answer that question.
What?
The best way you could honor Charlie Kirk, if you can't fight for him for some reason, is to simply say nothing.
You can't tell him what
Because I
to
looked at this
say.
clip and it bothered me for a lot of reasons, Don, because I know who you are. I know who you are. You're a hunter. You love to hunt, Don, right? Every
Look
picture
at her
of
being
you, you're in the
manipulating.
wilderness. Your whole life, you love to be in the wild. In fact, you taught me a lot about the wild and a lot about hunting.
She is manipulating.
And my favorite fishing experience is
Joanna.
actually with you, right? Fighting back the sea
She's
lions or
evil.
the seals in British Columbia. You know nature.
I don't talk
and I'm
about
not gonna
Austin
ask you to
Tatum.
go
I don't know
back
who he is.
against the nature of honoring your father, but I am going to ask you not to lie.
What?
And as a hunter,
What did he lie about?
you are not lying, and this is truly what you believe. You trust the investigation. I'm going to need you to make a video saying that
No,
you believe
he doesn't have to
Charlie
do what
was
you say.
shot by a .30-06 in the neck, and that somehow, through the miracle of God, Charlie's
He
neck
doesn't have to do
stopped
what you
a
say.
30-06. Not only stopped a 30-06, but was pretty much in good shape. Not even destroyed. His neck was not even destroyed by a 30-06. That kind of a miracle.
Yeah, they
Don.
put me on slow mo.
You know hunting, you know guns. And so I'm asking you if this is truly what you believe, to clarify that matter. Make a video, sit down with me, look me in the eye and say, Candace, I really do think that Charlie, our friend, because you are his friend, you were his brother, stopped a 30-06 with his neck, which stayed intact.
Where's the medical evidence?
You won't say that, Don.
We've already seen her violate
You won't
HIPAA.
say that because it's untrue. And I think that spiritually it would mess with you. And the hunters that are listening know that you don't believe that.
She is
You know
gaslighting.
too much. Okay. So again, I'm going to ask you, if you cannot say anything.
You can't
I
tell
understand the
him not
ties
to
that
say
bind. I
anything.
understand Jared and Ivanka and their investments in Israel and
She
the
just
pressure that's
mocking
coming from the
everybody.
Zionists, to simply be quiet. As his
No,
other
they don't have to.
brothers and sisters and people in the movement, people who don't even know Charlie, get to the bottom of this, because everything we're
You
being
can't make
sold
this up.
is absolute BS. That's my request to you, Don.